Welcome to Wild Rose Haven, where we're doing it ourselves.
Hello everyone, so now it is time for us to make the second sauerkraut, which I'm going to go ahead and create my own recipe for it. And I'm going to use some of my personal cultural background, which is a bit of an island girl vibe to it, and see what I come up with. So I decided as my ingredients I'll be using onions, garlic, a bit of baby carrots, that's right, and Napa cabbage. And the reason why I want to use the Napa cabbage is just to see if it has a different sort of texture. I just noticed when I use Napa cabbage for stir fries compared to the green cabbage, which I also like to make lumpia. I'm a huge lumpia fan. I was raised on lumpia. That I noticed that for me, the Napa cabbage tends to be a bit more crisper or stay crisper in stir fries compared to the to the regular green cabbage, but that's for me personally. So I thought maybe I'll try it as far as sauerkraut is concerned and see if it's going to have a more crisper texture to it. And the other thing about Napa cabbage is that it's also a bit sweeter, whereas the green cabbage has a more peppery, a bit more of a spicier taste to it, and it is a bit, I would say, a bit more on the bitter side. So that makes sense as far as if you have that as your traditional sauerkraut and having that more of a bitter, soury taste. So I want to see what it's going to be like to have a more sweeter taste, and that's why I am using more sweeter ingredients in this one. I'm also going to be adding a different type of salt, and I'm also going to be adding a bit of wine, cooking wine. So it's going to be a white, you can use dry white cooking wine, or dry wine is fine, or dry white wine is fine as well, if that's all you can get wherever you're at. But I'm going to be using a traditional cooking Asian Oriental type of wine that I'll be incorporating into this particular recipe and see how it turns out. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, one of the different things about this particular process as far as the Napa cabbage is concerned is that, yes, of course, you still have to wash it first. But instead of going ahead and coring it like I did the green cabbage, what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to take off this back end here. So this end here, and this is a new thing. Have you guys seen this? I guess now, because a lot of the stores, oh, are you all right? A lot of the stores that are more self-automated now, as far as checkout is concerned, you're getting more of these interesting looking tags. So all I'm gonna do is just take off the base. Not sure how deep that goes. It didn't go that deep. And then I'm gonna save it. I wanna show you guys something kind of cool that I found out about Napa cabbage that I want to share with you. You might know this already, but just in case you don't, this is a really cool thing about Napa cabbage that I found out that you can do yourself and actually, well, we'll just wait and see. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and just take off the base, and then once I take the base off, I will weigh it to see if I have the weight that I need. Now the goal is to have the same recipe as far as the salt combination is concerned, is 5 pounds. So I need to have 5 pounds of Napa cabbage to the 3 tablespoons of salt. And so far that seems to be working just great in the fermenting process and creating the juices that I need to keep the cabbage covered. So let's go ahead and use that. But now the only difference is, instead of having to core it out, which is nice about Napa cabbage, is that the core of it is much more tender than the green cabbage. So I'm not gonna worry about coring it. I'm gonna use as much of the cabbage as possible, except for the base of it, which I will show you how to repurpose it. So now that I've tiered out my weight, my scale, at the moment I have 1 pound. I need 5 pounds of Napa cabbage. And that, my friends, is not 5 pounds. So, hold on. All right, so I still need to add a bit more. So Let me get another one and get that all washed up, and I'll be right back. Now, I did say to you that I would not core out the Napa cabbage, but this particular one, see, has a bit of a thicker core on it. So I might have to kind of keep an eye on it when I start shredding it and seeing if I need to pull some of that out. But I'll leave a little bit of the extra weight in it like I did with the green cabbage, just in case there's any of the core that gets caught up in it during the shredding process that I need to eliminate. And then it should still keep me around the 5 pound goal that I'm going for. The other thing about Napa cabbage that you want to do is that you want to make sure to remove the outer leaves, because of the fact that they tend to hold in more dirt than the green cabbage. The green cabbage is a much tighter cabbage compared to the Napa cabbage. So that's another reason why you want to make sure you get rid of the outer leaves of the Napa cabbage, okay? So one of the things that I want to do before I start adding the measurements to the cabbage that I've already weighed out is that I also have to put into consideration the extra vegetables that I'm going to be adding to the sauerkraut this time. So I need to make sure that I add that to the weight, which I did not mention to you, and that is what I'm going to do right now. So let me go ahead and prep those things out. All right, so now I'm done chopping all of that up, and it's time for me to go ahead and weigh it all out. So now that I'm at the 5 pound mark, I'm gonna go ahead and continue shredding the cabbage. The only difference I'm gonna do with this sauerkraut recipe as well, besides the ingredients, is I'm going to do the layering effect, which means that as I add the ingredients, as I add the cabbage and the vegetables and all of that, I'm going to add salt. So I'm going to do layers as I gradually get up to the top, and then I'll do a light toss, because I want to make sure that the salt and the vegetables that I mixed in this time are well mixed together. Whereas when I just had all just cabbage and just added a bit of the salt, mixing it around, it to me wasn't as big of a deal with this particular recipe. So that's what I'm going to be doing different as well in this sauerkraut recipe. So let me go ahead and get the cabbage shredded. All right, so now I'm gonna let this percolate, and while it percolates, I'm gonna go ahead and fix my nail that popped off like a Lee press-on. See that? And come back and get it ready to put into a mason jar. It is time for me to go ahead and stir this up. And I tell you what, this smells so incredibly delicious. It is, oh my goodness. Like, do you know when you smell something and you go, I really hope it tastes as good as it smells? Oh yeah. I mean, this smells so good right now that I just want to eat it raw. Like, just, I want to eat it like this. I don't want to wait for it to ferment anymore or any of that stuff. I just want to go for it right now. Look at that. Smells so good. But this one's going to be a little bit different because I'm going to add a little bit of liquid. Here we go. Because I was going for that Island Girl infusion I was telling you about. And has a bit of my cultural background in it. So I'm adding this liquid. Oh, thank you for, interjecting. Appreciate that. To this particular brine. I'm going to mix it up, and I wanted to wait until the juices started to form itself here at the bottom before I did that, to make it easier for me to mix it in and get this stuff percolating a little bit more. And now that I've done that, I should have tasted it before I added that in, but we're not going to. We're just going to let this sit here and percolate. Mix it up as good as best I can. And then we're going to start pressing this down and getting that juice up above the cabbage mix that we have going on here for our sauerkraut. Our Island Girl infused sauerkraut. So, and by doing that, it just changes the smell just ever so slightly. So you can see that there's more juice down in there. Yes, there is. And I can't help myself. I'm gonna go ahead and try it right now, just like I did with the green cabbage, just to see what it tastes like. Now the green cabbage, I noticed that particular sauerkraut had more of a saltier flavor. As I mixed it some more, the salt actually dissipated, which I was glad, because I'm really worried about it tasting way too salty. Mainly because I have to watch my salt content or intake. Here we go. I'm going to try this right now. All right, so I've never ever had fresh made, homemade sauerkraut in my life. And I tell you what, I never had this right here in my life either. And I am glad that I have actually put that in my life accomplishments right now, this second, and I'm sharing it with you. Now, it will be interesting to see how this is going to turn out. Mr. Rose, come here, quick. He's gonna try this. So he has to try it. He has to try it. He's English. He has to put his opinion in it because, we need to know.
Is it eggs and bacon?
Eggs and bacon.
Oh, all right, let me try it. Oh, it looks like cabbage though.
It's just cabbage. Okay, but this is the sauerkraut Island Girl infusion. Tell me what you think. Fresh start. Not even done yet.
Do you know how many sandwiches
No.
I'm going to put that in? That is ridiculous.
It's not done. It just...
I know it's not done. I can tell that the cabbage is still not...
It's not done. I just mixed it.
Not done. Okay, so we might just be saying that because we're doing it.
No,
But
you
no,
won't. No,
seriously.
you would not. No. I would tell you if it was crap.
That is some good.
If
Now,
it was crap, I'd say this. I have to throw
if
it.
it's
and it would
crap,
not, I would toss
how
it.
many days is that to sit for? 3 days
No,
or 2 weeks
no.
or 5 months or something?
It depends on who depends on people's taste. Some people say 3 days. Some
Right.
people say 2 weeks. Some people say
Well,
7
then
weeks.
we will try it as we go along.
Yes.
And I will give you my English, honest
opinion.
because you know, we only have boiled food that tastes like shoes.
This is way too crispy. Like way too crispy.
But I can. The
Oh,
flavour,
the smell.
And the smell too. But people say, "Oh, don't make sauerkraut. It smells so." Oh my God! I thought we were going to have filet mignons and shrimp on the barbie and a lobster thermidor when I walked in the door. But no, it was just a sauerkraut, and so I'm still waiting for dinner. So we'll probably have an egg sandwich, I guess, tonight or something like that. Duck egg sandwiches, yes.
Fresh,
very delicious.
home-raised duck egg sandwiches.
Yes, indeed, from our newly invented, almost completed, not really, duck farm that we're working on.
You'll see it around here somewhere.
Yeah, it'll get there eventually once they start actually making ducks. But
we've already.
in that case, we'll probably put sauerkraut on the duck sandwiches.
Ooh.
That should be about, 9 months old by then?
So good.
That's going to be really good by then.
Duck sauerkraut sandwiches.
Yes.
Why? See, you already said it way before we did it. Oh,
Damn it!
No,
I've let the secret out. It was the Colonel's recipe.
All right, gotta cover it. So we're gonna go ahead and let it sit for a bit before I put it in the mason jar and continue the fermenting process. But, oh my Lord.
Honest opinions only.
Oh.
If it's crap, we'll say so. If it's not, we'll say so.
This is like
But right now,
crazy.
it's going to be good, peoples.
So good. The island version, island fusion sauerkraut. Now this one, I'm gonna work on this recipe. I'm gonna more likely do another video just dedicated to this one alone. But we're gonna go with the first one, and you guys are gonna watch it with us. Woo, what? Okay.
Tasting time.
Tasting time. Make sure, turn the plate. Anybody into Fantasy Island? Watched that before? Yes, so we are. Ooh, Lord. Can't wait. Well. Wait. Let me try.
Now that is different. That is good.
Well, there is that drink, and this is the sauerkraut version.
That is good.
I think we might have to call that Sex on the Beach.
I think I was going to tip it down my knickers.
So good.
That is good.
So, there you go. This is our sauerkraut, our homemade sauerkraut. And unfortunately, I think from now on, I will not be able to buy any more sauerkraut from the store.
Oh dear, what a pity. Never mind.
So thank you for watching this video, and look for our other video, which is going to be
Seriously,
representing. Hold on. We're going to be having another video with our sandwiches, our pulled pork sandwich that's going to have the infused sauerkraut in it.
that's going to be fantastic.
Okay, so what were you saying? Hurry up, gotta make the sandwiches.
Quick. I really would recommend you make your own because it's like
No other.
completely different than anything you've tasted.
Oh gosh.
Store, whatever. Not there's anything wrong with that, but this has got more flavor, bite, and
Oh Lord, you know why? You know why? Because see, they can tell Mama's cooking.
yeah. And if you've got a couple of jars knocking around, nothing better to do, fill them up and just leave it for a month, and then you're good.
All right, we gotta go because otherwise we'll
gotta
be
go.
able to
We
hear us.
gotta eat.
Bye.
Y'all come back to Wild Rose Haven where we're doing it.